So one story about Denise is the fact that she cannot say or type Chris, which is my son's name. It always comes out as Christ, which is really amusing if you know Chris. I love the fact that Denise came to our house and played pinochle, so she has multiple skills.
Fun story, two of them. One, the mission trip to West Virginia was incredible to watch her work with the kids 24/7. And then the other one was my very first Christians and Romans when John was in 6th grade, and at the time I was a trustee member, and just to see the experience in the church, and the whole time she was worried that I was going to go back to the trustees and basically shut down Christians and Romans and the entire lock-in, but there was no way that was going to happen because you could just see the kids respond to her leadership, and I was all in after that.
My first youth rally, me, Thomas, Schwinny, and Ryle E. Coyote get into the room, see a big bathtub. I'm like, yo, rub dub dub, 4 men in a tub. What happens after that? Shower gets turned on. We walk in the hall when she needs us soaking wet. She didn't even really ask questions. She was like, whatever.
We just went to youth rally and the college kids showed up early, so we decided to put balloons in her bathtub, and not just a few balloons, like we filled the entire shower, and when she opened the shower curtain they fell out, and instead of being mad she thought it was the best thing ever and threw all the balloons out in the living room for the rest of the weekend.
You know, I don't know if there's one story in particular to share about Denise, but just the fact that whatever you're doing, it turns into a great time, whether it's just sitting in the car or sitting in a room on a ski trip or just any time, it turns into a great time with Denise.
My favorite story with Denise is ongoing, actually. There are randomly pineapples that show up in our life throughout my time in youth group, and it's kind of a mystery. We're not sure where they come from or who the person behind it is, but we're waiting to see.
So when we were on the Alaska mission trip, we were on the same site, and to pass into the time because we were painting, we were singing a singing game, so you had to like repeat it and whatnot, and it was just a lot of fun because it got pretty intense.
Many fun stories with Denise. I guess some of the funnier ones would be when we come up with ideas of what we think is going to work with the kids. Things like let's kidnap the kids and take them somewhere, or sitting in the pumpkin patch deciding that we're going to do an exhibit booth in youth rally and deciding to do a pumpkin patch. And just one of us will say something and the other one will agree, and then we're off and running, and fun things happen.
So probably Christians and Romans, I want to forewarn this that it's already been fixed, everything's fine. But so I was a Roman looking for Christians, and I was going through the bathroom, and I wasn't sure, it was dark, I wasn't sure which way a bathroom stall door went, so I pushed, just hoping that that was the right way, and it wasn't, so the door just popped off and fell, and so the door was closed. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta see what happened and see if I can fix it. So I turn on the light, and Denise is standing on the sink. Just like, are you kidding? You turned on the light. You broke the rules. I'm like, I broke the door too. But everything turned out fine, and it was just a funny moment that we tried to keep hush-hush between us for the next 7 years.
We had a lot of fun stories, but I think one of the ones that when I first started working, we actually always did the Soto Mentos in the parking lot. And there was one time when it got a little carried away and it went shooting across the parking lot and almost hit a car, and they're screaming in the background and stuff, but just it didn't hit anybody's car, so that's the important part.
It had to be on the ski trip. You know, I don't ski, so we were just holding down everybody's stuff in the lodge, and it's Denise. We were all laughing and talking about the first mission trip Denise ever was on. It was just all the old horror stories. It's just hilarious.
So numerous times Denise locks her office and I need to be in there, either to be in there for no reason at all or to get something useful, or just to put Snapchats in there and then send them to Denise. Be like, I broke into your office. But whenever I open the window, she has a solar array of little plants that swing back and forth. And every time I open the window, I forget and they go crashing down, and sometimes they break. But she laughs about it anyway, which is the best part.
Right, so the first night we moved into the parsonage, we left for a half-hour window to go to the grocery store, and in that half hour, this entire flock of flamingos appeared on our front lawn. And I was amazed that I imagined that people had been lurking in the bushes waiting for us to leave the house so that the youth could put the flamingos on the front lawn. And the next day when I saw Denise, I knew we were going to get along when she said, so the kids were really worried about whether the new pastor would be okay with the flamingos, and Denise made a point of telling them that she thought it would be fine. And as soon as I knew that she thought that about me, I realized we were going to work well together and have a good time.
Fun story about Denise. There are a lot of fun stories. I've known Denise for a while. I would say one of the fun things that happened is when in our early years of being involved with youth, our kids were really young and we wanted to go on the ski trip, and we stayed in a caboose in like 2-degree weather with all 5 of our children. It was like about the size of Denise's office, and it was just a lot of fun being with the youth. That was kind of like our introduction, and she made it so fun with games, and I can't really explain how she does that. It's just a special something that she does.
So this is a funny story. For like a whole year, I thought that I was the same age as Denise. And I was super stoked because I thought she was way younger than I was. And so I was excited to realize, maybe I was still kind of like in this young, hip, cool crowd. And then a year later, she realized that she was actually a year younger than she thought she was. I don't know how you don't know your age, but she did not know her age, and I was crushed because now I was like older than Denise, and I was no longer like, with the cool kids.
Okay, so this one time, it was a middle school mission trip, I believe, and it was the first YUMC, that's right. And me and Katie were working at an anchor house site nearby, and our group was so large that our group leader, our adult, could only take the kids in our group, and we needed a ride, Katie and I. So Denise drives up with Thomas already in the car, and me and Katie get in the car with her, and we start to leave the anchor house, and she's already been running low on gas for a little while now, but she just acted like it never happened because we had so many other things to worry about, and we ran out of gas in the middle of a 4-way intersection left turn lane, so we had to sit there like sitting ducks in the middle of this busy intersection until some angel came with a Jeep and like a hook on the back of his Jeep, and so he basically towed us out of the intersection, and we just had to sit there and wait for someone else to bring us gas.
Story number 1. We had an email fight over the... yeah, I was at home watching my kids at a baseball practice, and we started emailing back and forth. I think it was one of those occasions that I need to use the sanctuary on a Wednesday for rehearsal for something coming up, and she had scheduled things, and instead of talking on the phone, we just kept shooting emails back and forth, and it escalated, and in 15 years it was our only email or whatsoever fight. And then the next time we saw each other, we hugged it out, and ever since we worked together a lot better. Number 1. Number 2, it was in Alaska, and we were going somewhere for something. I can't even remember what it was, what the specific was, but the directions were very iffy, and I was driving and I didn't know where to go, and I guess everybody was going up to Denise and asking her how to get to places or what to do, and she was getting a little frustrated, so I guess I was the 3rd or the 4th in line that I asked them kind of the same question, and she just came over, looked at me, and said, "You're an adult, figure it out, make it happen." And ever since that, that phrase has been a joke of ours.
A funny story was, most people probably won't find this funny. She was trying to look for her phone one time, and she asked me where it was, and I'm like, I honestly don't know. And she's like, I don't know if you're lying or not. And I had to reassure her that I wasn't lying to her because she honestly couldn't tell if I was lying or not.
Denise, it's amazing. 50 years has gone so quick. I can't believe you started in 1967. It just seems like yesterday. So, congratulations for 50 years service with YUFC.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Denise, thank you for your awesome.
Fun and amazing.
Faith-filled, fun-filled,
Epically awesome.
For extraordinary.
Friendship-filled.
Enlightening.
Lit.
Christ-centered.
Fabulous.
Meaningful.
Wonderful.
Incredible 15 years of service. You've shown not only the kids, but all the adults how to interact, treat each other, and love Christ. So thank you.